Paul here, and I've just literally came back from my niece's christening this morning, and hence the shirt. Don't normally wear shirts, but I am today. And I just wanted to quickly share with you 5 awesome tips you can take away right now, start implementing in your day-to-day life to achieve more weight loss. Now, these are tips that you've probably never heard about before, and they're probably tips that may at first feel a little bit strange, a little bit new, which is very, very good, guys, because if we always do what we've always done, we'll always get what we've always got. So if we're trying something new, then we can sure as hell, bet that we're going to get a different result. So the first tip that I've got for you guys is get into bed, and get into bed as closest to dusk as possible. Basically, what happens when we're staying up late, as a lot of people do these days due to bright lights, and since the invention of the light bulb, which Thomas Edison actually did go mad inventing the light bulb. So staying awake in bright lights, guys, is not a good thing. Even Thomas would admit to that. And so, guys, staying up late and subjecting yourself to bright lights is actually going to raise your cortisol levels, your stress hormones, which means that we can't recover as we should, and it means that we're going to be awake as we would in the morning when cortisol should be high. So what happens when we stay up late or have a poor night of sleep is that melatonin, which is responsible for producing serotonin, a feel-good factor, a feel-good chemical that makes us feel great the following day. Well, melatonin's not produced, therefore serotonin production is completely halted. So what we'll actually do, in fact, there's 2 reasons why we eat carbohydrates because of a lack of sleep. The first reason is that carbohydrates, and a lot of carbohydrate foods, chocolate bars and crisps in particular, as confectionery foods, sugars we're looking at here, well, these kind of foods are boosted with artificial serotonin boosters. So when we've had a poor night's sleep, the following day we tend to crave for those foods to give us a feel-good. People tend to have poor sleep, and related to people being depressed and having poor night's sleep, often reach for comfort foods to get that serotonin boost and that feel good. So that's one reason why we tend to crave for those sugary confectionery foods, and we know that when we do eat them, we're going to gain weight. The other reason that if we stay up late, we'll be craving carbohydrates and sugary foods is actually to put us to sleep. Okay? Carbohydrates actually put us to sleep. You may have heard the term of a carb coma. Well, you may have can relate to this after a Sunday dinner, and we start to feel really tired after having a really, really big dinner. Well, that's actually a carb coma, where your body's way of dealing with that high blood spike is to sleep it off. So late at night, when we're craving carbohydrates, which we know will make us gain weight if we eat a lot of them, late at night, your body's way of craving for those is to say, come on, mate, I need to get to sleep. Okay, so it starts craving those foods for you to eventually put it to sleep. So not only will you crave them at night, you'll also crave them the day after. And we know if we eat a lot of these carbohydrates, and certainly the wrong carbohydrates, we're going to gain weight. Okay, so you've got to be smart the way that you eat your carbohydrates, and you've got to be eating the right ones. So the first tip, guys, is get to bed, get to sleep, and as close to dusk as possible. Now, let's say from 8 o'clock onwards, when the sun's gone down, we want to mimic a sunset with low wattage light. So like a low wattage bulb, a red bulb in a lamp that's lower than knee height is an ideal light that we can use during the evening. We don't want big fluorescent overhead lights that are going to stimulate cortisol and wake us up, okay? So if you're somebody that struggles from a lack of sleep, make sure you're not the one with bright lights and looking at your phone, your iPad, your laptop, and on your computer and your TV, and stimulate your eyes and waking you up with bright lights. Make sure you're not that one, because I can guarantee if you cut out all those lights, even something as small as an alarm clock emitting a little bit of light can stimulate that cortisol. If you're somebody that struggles with poor sleep, cut back off those lights, those bright lights that I've just mentioned right there, for an hour or 2 before bed. You'll notice your sleep improve. So first tip, guys, is get to sleep, and you'll start losing weight as well, and stop storing it, which is, let's stop the cause. The next one, guys, tip number 2 is remove wheat. And firstly, bloats. There's wheat bloats, everybody. You'll notice when you cut out wheat from your diet, bloating will stop. Now, wheat comes in the form of bread, pasta, but also as thickeners in sauces and soups. So watch out for that. I always make food fresh. With raw ingredients, with fresh ingredients. But if you're somebody that's buying these packaged processed foods, then I can guarantee that there's more than likely to be wheat in there. 80% of foods in supermarkets are packed full with wheat, even the foods that you'd least expect. So cut out wheat, you'll notice you'll start losing weight, especially from the belly region. I mean the big reason why wheat is so dangerous to our health. It actually is to our mental health as well as our physical shape, our body. And the biggest reason why we gain weight with wheat is in particular with flour. Now, over the years, flour has completely changed to the Emmer wheat that we used to use to the dwarf wheat that is now been made by man and chemically changed. So we produce, crops yield more wheat, but the effect on our body is very harmful. So the bread that your granny would have been making 50 years ago is not the same bread that would be made today for mass production. But anyway, my main concern, if you're trying to lose weight, wheat's a bad choice to go for, because the surface area of flour, when grains are ground down into flour, the surface area is 1,000 times greater. So when we digest it, when we consume that flour, the wheat, the bread, the pasta, the surface area is so much larger that it means the insulin spike or the flour causing a high blood spike means your insulin spike is going to go higher, which results in storing body fat. Now, it's not the sugars or the fats that store the body fat, it's the relationship between that food that you're eating has on your blood sugar level that causes your insulin to rise. It's insulin that stores body fat, okay? So if you can start controlling the what we eat, what we consume, the food choices that we have in relation to controlling your insulin level, then we can start losing weight. Okay, really simple. So cut out wheat, guys, and you'll notice a massive change in your weight, a weight reduction there. Next one I've got for you is find a group of lifters. Now, I mean two things by this. One, lifters are awesome. People that lift weights are going to be losing more weight than people that are doing the dancing, doing the aerobics, doing the running and things like that. Although that might be fun and you may enjoy that, that's awesome and maybe a real good thing for you to do to relieve stress. The aerobic exercise is only going to burn off calories as you're doing it. For instance, if you're dancing to lose weight, if you're trying, doing dancing as a means to lose weight, then unless you're doing it for 6 hours, it's no good, okay? So these trained dancers that are really athletic build, they're dancing 6 hours a day, great workout for them. But if you're somebody that's only got an hour a day to work out, then doing a 45-minute class of dancing in a hall is not gonna get you in shape. It's gonna burn off calories as you're doing it, but as soon as you stop, you will stop burning calories. And there's chances that you're probably gonna hurt yourself doing those sessions as well. So you wanna make sure the program you want is specific to fat loss. Now the workouts that I do, and I tell you guys to do, are gonna keep your metabolism burning after the workout. Dancing won't do that, running won't do that. So the workouts that you've gotta do, specifically guys, lift a resistance, your body weight, a kettlebell, resistance band, a barbell, lift, guys. I've got my guys lifting Atlas stones at the minute, which they love me for. But I meant two things by find a group of lifters, okay? Firstly, yes, lift more weights and things like that to increase your metabolism. But also find a group of people that lift you up as a person. Don't find yourself a group of people such as a slimming club that pull you down, that moan all the time. Find a group of people that will offer you support, who have followed my plan before and can give you that same support because they've done it before and achieved an amazing result with it, okay? Find those kind of people. The most supportive people in the community are the guys that you want to surround yourself with. You become the average of the 5 people you spend most of your time with. Okay, so make sure those 5 people that you spend most of your time with are awesome people who you want to be like. Now, I'm hazarding a guess that you probably don't want to be a moaner. You don't want to be moaning about your health, your weight, money, and things like this all your life. I'm sure you don't. Okay, I'm sure you don't. So surround yourself with those people that you do want to be like. And all of a sudden you start becoming the average of those 5 people, okay? Surround yourself with the right kind of group and you're going to get there faster to that goal. You're also going to learn off these people, feed off these people, and those people are going to pull you up. The cool thing down with my boot camps and my clients is that you may have had a really boring day, or you hated work today. Maybe it was a tough day at work. That's cool. We all have those. Okay. But you may be on a low, and you still got that hunger. You still want that result. So you turn up to your workout, and when you're there, you feel like I'm still tired, but I'm going to give it my all anyway. And let's say you're working on a 5, but the person, your buddy next to you, is working on a 7, a level 7. That person next to you is going to pull you up to a level 7. Okay, they're going to take you there. I'm going to take you there, and then we can all work together, get into a level 10, and so on. That's why, guys, because we are social people. That's why I want you to find a group of lifters, people that pick you up, and people that lift weights. Okay, tip number 4, guys. This is really conventional. This just came to me just moments ago, which is the cool thing of knowing me, because I think of crazy stuff like this. But my tip number 4, guys, which you've probably never heard of before, is switch off your fridge. Alright? Switch off your fridge for the next 7 days. That sounds pretty mad. But the reason why we got fat as a nation, the UK, the US, if you're listening to this right now, wherever you are in the world, the reason why we got fat, not so much in the Eastern society, more so in the Western society. The reason why we got fat is because the abundance of food, and food is so easily accessible. We get up in the mornings, we open the fridge, our food is there for us. Okay, so as a challenge, empty your fridge out first, switch off your fridge for the next 7 days, alright, as a challenge, guys. And all of a sudden, you're going to have to get out of the house to go get your breakfast, to go get your food. All of a sudden, you're going to have really important short periods of hunger, which is great for your blood sugar level, which is great for changing your body shape. And all of a sudden, you've got to hunt for your food. You've got to get up and go and get it. Okay? Food, because you've decided to, by switching off your fridge, is no longer easily accessible. You've got to get out and go and get it. Which I think, when I came up with this, is going to be a pretty cool psychological experiment that people can do. A challenge, and it'd be interesting to find out your guys' results from doing it. So let me know, hit me up, drop me an email at info@fatburnerbootcamp.com, or send me a message on Facebook, or facebook.com/fatburnerbootcamp, and let me know, guys, if you did the 7-day no fridge experiment, because I'd love to know how you found it, and on the scales and your weight as well. So take before and after photos. I want to see those as well. So just by switching off your food, see what happens there, because I can guarantee, since food has become so abundant, that we got overweight. And if we take that away, eliminate the cause, then I guarantee we'll start losing even more weight. That's tip number 4, guys, conventional as it gets. And my 5th tip, guys, you've heard me say this before, is remove the caffeine. Caffeine not only is a toxin, the reason why, I mean, there's some benefits to caffeine. And, you know, from time to time I enjoy the odd cup of an Americano, a nice black coffee. But there's no sugar, there's no cream added into there. But a lot of people, and here's why I want you to cut it out, a lot of people rely on caffeine as a pick-me-up, as a stimulant. And if you're doing that, then we're in bad news. For weight loss and for your health, and the reason being is your adrenals. Now your adrenal glands get so shaken up every time you have a cup of coffee, they can get fatigued and tired, and a lot of people are suffering with something called adrenal fatigue, where they go throughout the day and they wake up in the morning and they are so tired they need a cup of coffee to get them going. They need 5 cups of coffee to get them going, 10 cups of coffee to get them throughout the day. Now that's not a way to live, and it's damaging your health severely. And eventually you'll just wake up and be like, in your career, and you'll be like, what's going on? I just don't feel like, no motivation, no get up and go. And I just don't know where I am with my life, with my career at the moment. So if you're somebody that is relying on caffeine, it's like a time bomb waiting to go off. Now, your sympathetic nervous system is related to the fight or flight. Your parasympathetic is your rest and your digest, but your sympathetic is your fight or flight. This is where, well, literally we fight or flight. It's what survive. It's how we've survived, you know, throughout time. And well, basically, when you have a cup of coffee, it stimulates that fight in you. So you start releasing a lot of glucose into the body. But you see, what people tend to do is they'll be sat down at a desk, okay, and they'll have a cup of coffee. So all that glucose that's gone into their blood sugar because of stress is then going to be stored on their belly. Okay, the adrenal glands then get fatigued, and then it goes into a cascade of lots of problems, lots of ailments. Now, back in the day, we would have had fight or flight to keep us alive. Okay, we would have either sprinted away or we would have stood our ground and fought. And that's why your body's adaptation to that kind of stress is it release a lot of sugar into blood so we can fight, so our airways open up, so our heart beats faster, so we can fight or leg it. Okay, and but however, now in modern society we relate that stress that we related when we needed to fight or leg it, we now are sat down, but it's sales and problems, other people's problems, and you know, and just general stresses that we get throughout the day, families, relationships, and stuff like this. The traffic. We're sat down in a sedentary position. We're not moving. We're not going to burn off that glucose, that sugar. Yet that stress that's being put on us back in the day, we didn't have a stress about. We wouldn't care about. We're now being stressed out by other things, and we're still releasing that glucose. So your body's adaptation to the fight or flight mechanism is not only going to wear us out, and by drinking more coffee, it's just going to cause more and more and more of that process to happen. So, cut out the caffeine. You'll notice you'll have big headaches if you are a caffeine drinker. You'll have big headaches for 4 to 5 days, but I promise after that, and you get lots of water, it'll go away, and then you find a new lease of energy. And you'll also help your body start dropping weight as well, because it becomes less stressed. Now, one way I like to de-stress my clients is I want you to remove the caffeine, but I want you to introduce something called Tulsi tea. That's Tulsit. Tulsi tea is absolutely phenomenal at reducing stress. In particular, the holly basil plant, it's me dogs. Hello, that's right, Dad. The holly basil plant that's in Tulsi tea is an adaptogen herb. Hello, Holly. That will lower cortisol, literally lower cortisol, which is a great thing that we can be doing to de-stress ourselves, certainly in the evening. So, like from 4 p.m. onwards, start drinking Tulsi tea to relax yourself, and you will notice a massive improvement in your sleep, but also an improvement in your stress levels as well. And you get all this right, everything that I've told you, in particularly with the sleep, improving your sleep, and cutting out wheat, and also your exercise and surrounding yourself in a group, your mind will be in such a better state, and also, you know, eating a lot healthier as well by having short periods of hunger, by going out and getting your food, and removing caffeine. You will notice your sleep and massively improve. You'll wake up more with more energy, and you'll notice your switch on that fat burning switch. So there's 5 killer tips that you've maybe heard me say before, that you may have never heard before, but I really, really highly recommend you guys doing it. Guys, if you've got any questions or any feedback, certainly if you're taking part in the 7-day switch off your fridge challenge, drop an email to me at info@fatburnerbootcamp.com. I hope you valued these tips, guys. Let me know. Thank you very much.